New York Rangers win 9 in a row, the hottest team in hockey. Oh my God, they're the best team in hockey too. In the Craze with Tommy C. Ranger time. Welcome everybody to Crazy Tommy C with special guest Jack Malay and the Dead on Dave. What's happening, gentlemen?
What's going on, partner?
Doing good. New York Rangers, Matt Zuccarello, 7 points in 4 games. Name one of the stars of the week. Rangers win 9 in a row. Even getting contributions from Antti Ranty, whatever his name is, from Finland that complained about not playing for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's undefeated. The New York Rangers very clearly at this moment are the best team in hockey. The only question is, Dead on Dave, start with you, and I'll move this to Mr. Malay, who's kind enough to guest here. Can they keep it going? What do you think?
Short answer, yes, they can. But side note, if you had Zuccarello as your points leader for the New York Rangers, raise your hand, you win a fucking cigar.
Yes.
Can you believe that? That's pretty incredible.
Well, he's making up for Steve Stamkos. Yeah.
I'm hurting over this. I'm losing sleep over this trade.
It's a long season, Dave.
It is a long season, but it ain't getting any longer either, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Shortening by the day.
Yeah, you got it, man.
It needs to come on. But as far as the Rangers, yes, they absolutely can, and they will keep this up. They're built for this. We saw it last year, and now it's really starting to come together. Yandel, the big acquisition from last year, we said one thing about this guy. If he can adjust his game and make that outlet pass from the one that we talk about all the time, that inlet pass, I should say, then he was going to be really, really important to this team. He's got like 8 or 9 assists this year. He's absolutely doing everything they want him to do. They're 4th in games, goals per game. They're 1st in goals against. They're 4th in killing the penalty. This is a great, not good team. And you know what? I don't even think they've peaked yet.
That's all well and good. I think just to talk about Yandel a little bit, I think it's unfair sometimes. You get these guys in March. They don't necessarily expect it. They got to come to an. I did think when I criticized the Rangers last year, I criticized mostly Martin St. Louis and Rick Nash. I didn't think it was fair to kind of throw Yandel under the bus, going from a team like Arizona to the New York Rangers, who are cup contenders. So I think that's I'm really glad you brought that up, because he took a lot of heat from the Rangers. I didn't even know why they needed an offensive defenseman to begin with. But hey, now it's working out. He's comfortable. He knows these guys. I mean, living in New York is a lot of fun. And I think that's really Keith Yandel has been a huge contributor. He's fit in, and that's exactly what he needed to do. But it really shouldn't be surprised. He was a great player on a lousy team all last year. So more from Keith Yandel. I pose the same question to Jack Malay. Jack, what do you think of those New York Rangers?
It all starts with Henrik Lundqvist. He's obviously one of the top 2-3 goalies in the entire world. He is every single year. And what's scary to me about the Rangers, and I kind of feel the same way about the Kings, they're winning games, they're playing great, and their best players aren't even lighting up the lamp yet. Rick Nash, Derek Stepan, they're not exactly lighting the league on fire, but yet the Rangers win. So you just think how much more dangerous they're going to be once those guys start to really click.
Do you think Rick Nash will turn it on? I mean, he usually gets it going by now. It's getting to be that late in November point. A lot of Ranger fans like myself not happy with Nash. I would have rather traded him for picks this year. I don't think we need him to make the playoffs. Maybe we need him to get the President's Trophy. But the President's Trophy, Jesus, I have as much pride in the President's Trophy as my second place finish in the Pinewood Derby in 1985. All right? So I don't care about the President's Trophy. I like the one you drink out of. But do you think, in all seriousness, is Nash, I know this is, I don't know how to frame this. Is Nash a positive and negative for this team? Can he produce? Can he snap out of this sort of small town mentality that he has, Jack?
If he was making $4 million a year, he'd be great. The problem with Nash is that massive cap hit. And when you're getting paid $7-8 million a year, and you're only putting up, what was he have 2 goals this year? I mean, that's just completely unacceptable.
No, it is.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? This guy's got 380 career goals, and the chances are he's going to start getting hot. He's 31 years old. The guy can he's shown he can bury the puck. I think it'll happen eventually. You can't trade him because his value is at an all-time low. So all you can really do is ride it out. And
now you do, yeah. You don't think we could have dealt him this summer, Dave?
I think you could have this summer, but now
you can't. No, I agree with you.
You're not. He's immovable now.
I agree with you completely.
What's really interesting when I'm looking at this team, they are not relying on anybody to play excessive minutes. Everybody's spread out. Nash is only playing 60 minutes a game. There's only 3 guys that are averaging more than 20 minutes per game. That tells me that they have confidence in all 4 lines, that they're unbelievably deep, and they're playing as a unit. That's a scary goddamn thing.
Yeah, I know, and the defense is amazing. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat real quick. Let's see. Kenny Morrison, who's an Islander fan, so I'm going to rub him in his face. Friggin' Ragin is probably going to win another President's Trophy. Dr. Deke, what happened to Malay's hair? That's a good question.
Looking good is
you look
happening.
like 10 years younger or something.
Well, yeah, when you go in and your barber says, "Let's try something new," you don't always want to listen.
Jack, I got 2 words for you, man. It changed my life. Hipster barbershop, okay? Hipster barbershop. It will change. Look at me. I'm glowing. Not just from the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Hipster barbershop.
Hipster barbershop.
You just look for the big mustache on any of the windows. You'll know it when you see it.
Pure Pustine, and get it, and then trim your beard too. Pure Pustine, Jack, get your Top Gun sunglasses or aviators. Yes, I've tried to get Jack the aviators before. But it interferes when he does the live broadcast. It kind of hurts his eyes. So is that your excuse?
Yeah. I'm in my safe space without the sunglasses.
Kenny Morrison. I drafted. I drafted Zuccarello, and I knew he was going to be good this year. I'd love having him on my fantasy team. From an Islander fan, Pittsburgh boys out there. Rick the Dick is gone. I guess that mentions my little war last year with the Ranger fan who stuck up for the Buffalo Sabres fans. And whatever made 33 is, Dave is indeed a god among men. And Pure Pristine, and I would agree with that totally. Pure Pristine, lots of rumors for Duchesne. You guys have any idea where he might be going or where he would fit in best? He's player of the week this week. What do you think, Dead on Dave?
A guy like Duchesne right now, it seems like he'd fit in just about anywhere. I'd like, you know what? I got to be honest. I'd like to see him in a Chicago Blackhawks uniform.
But you guys don't have it.
I think we need a little bit extra right now. I think he could provide that.
What about the New Jersey?
Yeah, his cap hit might not exactly work with Blackhawks.
No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
No. He's playing well
Kings,
now. I don't know.
Those Kings might not be a bad home for him.
That's not a horrible idea, are they, Jack? You now have released the fact that you are a LA Kings fan, which I have some serious questions about. Steve, what about Duchesne over in La La Land?
Yeah, again, it's the cap hit. The Kings got about $1 million in space, and they'd have to get rid of something big to get something big. And I don't know. Duchesne's playing good right now. I don't know why the Avalanche would want to deal him. A week ago, when he wasn't playing well, I could have bought that argument, but I don't know about right now.
Maybe he doesn't want to be there, sort of like Stasny, and they tell him play better if you want to get the hell out.
The thing about him for a team like LA or any team that's having cap problems, if there's some guys that are some higher salary people that you can throw in on the deal and you throw in a good pick or two, he's 24 years old. He's a kid, and he 134 goals in the league over 6 years. The guy can play. He's seeming to get hot right now. Put him in a better system. Who knows what he's going to do?
Let's not forget that he's a major reason they didn't make the playoffs last year. That they expected production from him, and he simply didn't come through. Unlike he's come through every single year prior. I don't know what happened. A lot of guys had bad years. Nathan McKinnon maybe didn't put up the same numbers. Maybe sophomore slump.
He's playing great now too, McKinnon.
Yeah, he's getting it. I knew he'd get it back together. I knew Nathan would get it back together, but I think they relied on him a little too much in 2014 there. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. Now I want to get to.
I got a dark horse, by the way.
Sure, go ahead.
The Capitals. I think the Capitals can make a move.
Make a move on him.
I think they got the cap space, and I think they could really use someone else in there to help out. Ovi there. I think he'd be a good fit there. if you want to stay competitive in that race in the Metropolitan, they're going to need a little help. And I like the Caps, you know that, but they need a little help.
That seems like a good place too. David S says, Tommy, ask Dave how it feels that my Devils beat his Hawks twice in a week, and they don't play each other for the rest of the year.
I don't give a fuck. I don't play for the Blackhawks.
I'm a Blackhawks fan.
It affects me. I'm in Fallout 4 world, bitch. You think it bugs me what's going on in your mortal realm? No, I'm a god in Fallout 4.
Jeez.
Hell out of here with that.
Okay, now I want to talk to talk to Mr. Jack Millay. I know you don't want to talk too much about your personal life. I have an idea where you live. I think I know where you live.
I've told you before.
But do we say on air? I don't know. See, I don't know what I can and can't say about you on the air.
I live near Chicago.
Yes, you live near. Do you grow up in Michigan though?
You.
Where'd you grow up though? Like what town?
I grew up in Southeast Virginia.
And so you're a Southerner.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't. I didn't know that. And you put out this. I did not put you on that hand. I totally saw you as a Red Wings fan for some reason. I couldn't. But or a Blackhawks fan. I figure you're a Midwestern guy. Maybe I got.
When you're from the South like that and there's no team, you're just a free agent. You can pick whoever you want.
True.
So.
That's true. And
You didn't stay on the East. I found that weird. You didn't just the coastline, nothing. That's
yeah,
weird.
but Data. Southerners see East as New York City as well.
True.
So it's like, so you're better off. But the Kings. It's like, look, that was a big part of my hockey fandom too. Wayne Gretzky, the trade, as soon as that happened, there was so much press about this. This Larry Bird is what they called him at the time, the Larry Bird of hockey, which I think he's a lot better than Larry Bird comparatively.
Yeah, way better.
And the Larry Bird of hockey's coming in, and he's going to do this, and he's going to make it mainstream to like hockey. And he was just so likable and so ridiculously good. No one really seen anything like him before. Just some total offensive machine. It was tough not to be inspired by that. But even that, I got the book in 1990. I read cover to cover the Gretzky book. I think he's released 2 biographies since, but that's the one I remember the most. It was the best one when he talks about getting drunk with Billy Martin. That was a fucking great story. Did you ever hear that story about your hero?
I didn't.
All right.
I've heard some
every
crazy
great story
but...
starts with getting drunk with Billy Martin.
I got to tell you this story. I got to tell you a story real quick. So, according to Wayne Gretzky in his book, he was drinking somewhere in New York. I guess I'm assuming it was after a Ranger game or a Devil game or something like that. Billy Martin came up to him. He was current coach of the New York, or the current manager of the New York Yankees.
Manager, fucko.
Yeah, I did. I corrected myself. I don't watch much baseball anymore. And he said, I'm a really big fan. I love your stuff. You guys are great. And he starts talking about the prior Stanley Cup where they beat the Islanders the year before. And he says, that Billy Smith in Long Island, he's a real son of a bitch, hitting you like that. He's like, well, Billy's Billy. I really don't know him that well. He's kind of tough. He's a great goalie. He's like, and Billy's like, no, he's not a great goalie. He's a son of a bitch. And you know what? And as the night goes on, they get more and more into him. I know where he lives in Long Island. We'll go right over his house. We'll knock at his door. We'll kick his ass. And that was his last meeting with Billy Martin. He said he was starstruck. So
usually it only took one meeting with Billy Martin, or in Steinbrenner's cases, like 4 or 5 firings. But
so that's my favorite Wayne Gretzky Billy Martin story, and apparently there's only one.
Story.
Why? So all right, Gretzky gets traded. Why the Kings? Tell me your story. Why the Kings? You're a Southern boy. You're a free agent.
Yeah.
So why the Kings?
I mean, I was 5 years old when Gretzky got traded, and so obviously Gretzky got all the media attention.
Okay.
And it was just like. I mean, you guys were around back then. You remember like those LA Kings, like the LA Raiders colors. I mean, it was just like the cool thing to do.
It was cool.
And so I just naturally went, Gretzky's the best. I like the best. So stuck with them. Of course, they sucked for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I had nothing to cheer about. But
93, though, that was a great run.
Yeah, and that's why, I like Frenchie Ben, but I still to this day hold a grudge against the Montreal Canadiens. What a bullshit series.
Well, speaking of Billy Martin, really
the club.
Speaking of Billy Martin, if you really think of it, the Marty McSorley stick curve is very reminiscent of the Billy Martin's move to go after George Brett in the pine tar incident in 1982. So that's pretty interesting too.
Still one of my favorite reactions in the history of sports.
It is
Brett losing his mind.
There will never be a better reaction in the history of
So
sports.
good.
It's a good thing they grabbed him. He might have killed somebody.
He might have actually killed somebody.
It really is.
It's very possible.
Well, you know why he freaked out? It was because it was the Yankees. That's really what it was about. It was more. I guarantee you, if they were playing the Seattle Mariners, he wouldn't have cared at all. It was because it was the New York Yankees, and it's because the Yankees were smart enough to wait to use it against him. You know?
George Brett wasn't exactly mild-mannered in the first place, though.
He's a big, obnoxious Midwesterner that hated Northerners, and he got what he deserved. So that's all. Jack, you're the guest here. You got anything to talk about in the last 10?
Pittsburgh Penguins are struggling these days.
Good.
Anytime I can bash Crosby and the Penguins, I take my chances, you know?
Yes. The interesting thing out of Puck Daddy is Evgeny Malkin coming out and saying we're not hungry, we're not getting along, which is shocking coming from. I've never heard that in the history of sports. We don't get along. You usually hear about that in a book a year after, but I've never heard a player come out and say we don't get along. It must be pretty bad. And guess who I'm looking to blame? Do you think there's any
captain? You know, I follow the some Pittsburgh Penguins guys on Facebook, and there was some stuff coming out about optional practices, optional game day skates, and Crosby never partakes in them. Mm-hmm. And so now Malkin's the one, doing this players only meeting. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like someone should just grab Sid and be like, dude, you're the freaking captain. You got to be the leader. You got to get this thing going. But
those type of talks don't work on guys like him. They don't work. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that. He's Sydney first. Look, they've lost 2 straight, but this team they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're not exactly like going down the toilet. But that being said, even in this stretch, they look flat all of the time. They never get into a rhythm. They never get into a groove. Somebody, Malkin, Crosby, or Kessel, one of those 3 has got to go. And I don't know who, but one of them's got to go.
They
can't stay together. I just don't see it happening.
Sid is not going. Malkin will probably try to get out because that's a good sign that he doesn't think the environment's healthy. Our buddy Phil Kessel. I mean, I keep referring to this chance interview I happen to hear on Canada Sportsnet out of Toronto. Glenn Healy essentially saying that Sid doesn't like Phil, that he doesn't like the way he carries himself.
Crosby's played with over 50 different wingers in his career. Like at some point, maybe it's not the guys you're playing with. At some time, you got to just look in the mirror.
So you're not blaming Phil Kessel on this one, and you've been hard on Phil Kessel in the past, Jack.
He's playing with Malkin now, and that's the thing about everyone keeps talking about what's wrong with Sid. How they're giving him his chances. He's getting 20 minutes a game. He's getting top line power play minutes. He's getting put in positions to score. They're mixing up the wingers. They're trying to get Sid going, and it's still not working. They got one of the best defenses in the league, and the guy's a -8. I mean, that should tell you something. I don't. Maybe he is injured. I don't know, but Sid's not going. And if when your captain's not going and he's your best player and highest paid player, I mean, come on.
It is amazing to me how nobody in the hockey media will bash this kid.
You can't call him out. You can't.
You can't call him out, even when he's done some of the most childish things to the media, like that situation, with the Philadelphia a couple years back. I don't like those guys because I don't like them. Because I don't like. How old are you, dude? So why'd you kick his glove? I mean, it'd be almost cooler it's almost cooler if he said, because I can't stand the guy. I probably shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it because I don't. But it was like because I don't like him. Therefore, anything goes.
I'm wondering. He's had a lot of injury issues. He's been in the league 10 years. He's been playing elite level hockey for arguably 14, 15 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is he just wearing down? Is he on the decline? Or have we seen the best days? He's 28. But is it possible the guy's just done? Concussions can fuck with your body in ways that you can't even imagine. So is it just possible maybe the vision's going? Some of the things that he's relied on to be as great as he's been, as much as we bash him, he's had a
he's awesome.
Good
no one's
a good
player. Say he's not awesome, I really wonder about this. There's always this feeling out there that there's always this feeling out there that Sid's not going to be one of those players that hits 40. You know, and I think a lot of that has to do with his height and his weight. And early in his career, they ran him. And I think that had a lot to do with the media coverage and the fact that he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't handle the media so well, but he does. He never feels like he ever had to kind of toe the line with the sort of unspoken hockey code. He feels and shows on a regular basis that he is very, very, very much above it. And
he's Sidney all the time.
Yeah, he really is.
And he's never gonna be a 40 goal scorer again. He's never gonna be. He might hit 30 if he's lucky, but I envision him more as a Joe Thornton kind of guy, a 20 goal scorer, 50, 60 assists if he's playing with the right players. So when he's not scoring and his wingers aren't scoring, it's going to really affect his stats.
But Thornton does the little things that make him an effective player. Now, when he was captain, I know he's not captain anymore, but Sidney is the captain over there. He has got to do the things that he's got to be a Jonathan Toews. He's got to do those things. He's got to stick up for his guys. He's got to be a vocal leader. If he's transitioning to that point of his career where he's no longer an elite playmaker, he's got to find other ways as the captain of that team to be a leader. Plain and simple.
He's right. I think this guy's been getting a pass for too damn long. I think Pittsburgh, boy, he's sitting there. You know, he's saying he's one of the more decent Pittsburgh Penguins fans. I mean, he loves Pittsburgh sports, and I love Pittsburgh, boy. I think he can get it going. He has a lot of belief. But I think it's actually time for you guys to start calling his ass out.
Yes.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
Get it together. You know, and I think that is really, really, really telling with Yevgeny Malkin, who honestly, arguably, might be a better player. I always
he might be.
I think he gives you a little bit more. Yeah.
We're always talking about Crosby, Ovechkin. Excuse me. I don't know what happened to my speech right there. But you know, Evgeny is right in the middle of that conversation, man. I mean, he is truly one of the elites.
He's
a
an
top
Art
10
Ross
guy in the
Trophy
league,
winner.
Yeah,
He's a league MVP. He's done it all too. He's got Conn Smythe. I mean, come on.
He could fight too. He's a scary looking dude too. He's one of the more frightening players. I don't like his aura, so to speak, because it's sort of like a bad guy in a James Bond movie. But
Scott Hartnell called him the ugliest guy in the league. So
that's not true. Patrick
Elias
has it over him like a tent. You know, poor Patrick Elias. He's straight. He does look like Frankenstein. Come to think of it, you know. But there is just something. There's an aura about him. But you know what? He is so damn good, so talented, big, fierce, competitive, and maybe we have a Shaq Colby thing sort of developing here in the NHL. Forget Crosby, Ovechkin. Let's talk about the problems in the locker room between Evgeny and Sid. That'd be interesting. Yeah. All right, I think we ought to end it. Let me do the stuff and
Marleau.
Patrick. Well, what do you got to say about Patrick Marleau? I think we'll be saving that for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I said nothing.
Yeah, we'll talk about Marleau tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow.
Nothing.
Last night in the National Hockey Tees, Matt Zuccarello gets the game winner, leads the New York Rangers to a 4-3 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rangers win 9 in a row. And in Chicago, Kane gets the goal and a helper as the Blackhawks beat the Flames 4-1. Yes, the Hawks are playing pretty well too, Dave, aren't they?
They're getting spots going, you know. Every now and then they're really getting it together. Did you see Toews fight a guy the other day? Two captains fighting each other the other day. It's like the third time they've done it too.
Let's do it. I love Johnny Toews. He's skinny as a rail. He has no business fighting, but you know,
he uppercutted the fuck out of that.
You gotta admire the Toews man, the Taser's heart. You gotta admire the Taser's heart. And the Calgary Flames, how pathetic are they? They so disappoint me.
Big disappointment.
Making Ryan Lampert look good. That's what fucking disappoints me. It's the only thing I don't care if they win
Biggest
or lose.
disappointment this season? I think that's safe to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Ducks, boy, they're in a hard race with the Ducks. You know.
That's true. No, that's very true.
I don't know. Yeah, because Calgary might have been a fluke. Nobody understands what's going on in Anaheim. Let me knock this out. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Ducks are in Carolina to take on the Kings. If you want to watch good hockey, you want to watch interesting young kids like Anthony Duclair and Max Domi, I suggest you tune into Brooklyn, New York, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Arizona Coyotes take on the Icelanders of... I can't say that. I guess that's Steve Summers. Actually, That's a little inside joke between me and Islander Morrison over there in Long Island. You guys won't get that, but he
No,
will.
I laughed anyway because I'm a good guy.
The Icelanders. That's a
Good man, Dave.
inside thing on WFAN in New York. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Vancouver Knuckleheads. They're taking on the formerly hottest team in the league, the Montreal Canadiens. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Detroit Red Wings take on the Sens, and Tampa Bay is in Florida with the all-Florida matchup. Aren't you excited? The Derby. Nobody cares.
Oh yeah, all the 6 people who show up are gonna be thrilled.
Oh God, 2 teams in Florida. We really can't handle 3 teams in the East Coast. What makes you think you have 2 teams in Florida? And no late night game, but the Winnipeg Jets take on the St. Louis Blues. So let's hope they don't get blown out 7-0. Did you see that masterpiece against what was it? The Preds? Yeah, lots of fights though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need the fights to kind of energize me. I do. I want more violence because I'm selfish. I figure I've had 4 concussions on my life, so I've paid my dues. You know what I mean? Oh, that's right. Get out of my crease!